A very good evening to all of you. I hope I am audible and you can see my screen also.
Yes, Sumi, we can see your screen.
Okay. So, welcome to this short session on non-fungible tokens. Myself, Sumi Maria Abraham, I'm working as a research and development engineer at Kerala Blockchain Academy. So, this session is intended to give an overview, a high-level overview on what an NFT is, how can you create an NFT, and also the conceptual basics of NFT, non-fungible tokens. Okay, so let's start. So many of us had these collectible hobbies during our childhood days. So we used to collect coins, we used to collect stamps, chocolate wraps, and so on. So the value of such items, they were judged by either the scarcity or rarity of that particular item, or maybe the time delay that is involved between the issuance of multiple tokens, and also the physical effort required to collect them. And this hobby was further commercialized by many consumer brands. Like most of them buy Kinder Joy not for the chocolate, but it is for the collectible associated with it. So this collectible hobby has a psychological aspect also. Now, for some, this is something beyond a hobby. So meet the largest collector of chocolate wraps, largest collector of pencils, and largest collector of Barbie dolls. So for them, this hobby, apart from a mere hobby, so this actually gave them a way to become famous. And there are people who made a way of living also out of such collectible hobby, because there were people who were equally crazy to spend any amount of money to buy such collections, such rare collectibles, and so on. So this has got a strong psychological aspect also. Now, as the digital era progressed, so this collectible hobby also took a digital turn. Now we have something known as digital collectibles. So digital collectibles denote a unique or a limited edition copy of a virtual item. By virtual item, we mean a data file, something that can be represented in a binary format. It can be an image, it can be an audio, it can be a video, and so on. Now, the digital collectibles actually have some challenges apart from our physical assets or physical collectibles. So let's see what are the limitations of such digital assets. Now, the digital space is highly unregulated, and so are the digital assets. So digital assets can be easily replicated and circulated. So if you are a social media user, say you might be receiving multiple files every day, you will be sharing it with your friends and so on. Now, do you know who is the original creator of a file which you receive in a particular day? So is there any way to differentiate between someone who created the actual creator of a digital file and someone who actually created copies and circulated the digital file? So the original artist may not get a recognition in case of digital assets. Okay, because this is kind of unregulated space where like people can replicate and people can circulate. Though we have some copyright laws in place, like regulations or the violations are almost everywhere. And also, even if someone tries to buy a digital asset directly from the creator, so is there a guarantee that no one will have the copy of that particular digital asset? So how can he claim exclusive ownership of that particular digital asset? So these questions are actually unanswered in the digital space. Now here we have NFTs or non-fungible tokens. Now NFTs are actually ownership, representation of ownership of such digital assets. So let's see. So NFT, it actually became famous by 2017, especially with the popularity of some online games based on blockchain. But later by 2020, the NFT space actually the growth was around 300%. Okay, but currently actually it is kind of the trend is kind of declining. So this is an unpredictable space as well. So let's take a look at some of the most expensive NFTs. The first one, it is something called as the merge. The merge, it was collectively bought for 91.8 million. And next you can see a collage of around 5,000 pictures. And this was also sold for around $69 million. And the third one is actually a collection from something called the CryptoPunk. Now, CryptoPunk collections, they are actually a set of a collection of characters with sort of alien-looking characters, okay, like the one which you see in the picture. Now, that was also sold for a heavy sum. Now, if you think that NFT is only for artists, no, you are wrong, because the next one is actually a tweet by Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter. So he just created an NFT out of his first tweet, which was sold for $2.9 million. Okay, so now let's break down this term non-fungible token. So first, let's see what is fungibility. Okay, what do you mean by fungible? Now, two items are said to be fungible if they are identical. For example, the currency note. Suppose I am having 100 rupee note with me. If my friend is also having a 100 rupee note, we can interchange them because the value is the same. The same is with cryptocurrency also. If you have, say, 2 Bitcoins in your wallet and your friend has 2 Bitcoins, you can exchange that Bitcoin for another because the value of identical assets remain the same. So such assets are termed as fungible. So let's see, say here, suppose Sheila purchases a dress from an online site, let's say Amazon, and Laila also purchases the same dress from same site, let's say Amazon. Now, suppose while it is getting packed, their packing agents can exchange it, right? But still, there won't be any issue. Why? Because the value of the asset is one and the same, be it for Sheila or be it for Laila. So, such assets are termed as fungible. Fungible means identical assets are having same value. But don't think that all identical assets will be having the same value. Let's take an example of Kim Kardashian using Marilyn Monroe's famous dress. Now, she took that dress to an event, and later there were reports that Kim actually destroyed that dress, like that dress got damaged. And people were furious at Kim. So, I have two related questions. Kim is a billionaire. Now, why did she go for that old dress belonging to Marilyn Monroe? She could have easily, she could have easily afforded a new dress, which is identical or maybe much better than Marilyn Monroe. And even if she is so much amused by that dress, so she could have easily recreated another one, which looked exactly similar to that dress, which was owned by Marilyn Monroe. Then why didn't she go for that? The reason is these items are non-fungible. That means though they are identical, their value differs. So a dress, even if the same dress was recreated by Kim, its value will be different from the original dress which was worn by legendary Marilyn Monroe. Okay, so these are called non-fungible items. So non-fungible means something that are unique and non-replaceable. See, for example, here we have a picture drawn by Raja Ravivarma, and on the right we can see a recreated version, okay, like which is also very beautiful. But if we consider the value of which is better, or the like, if you consider the value element of these two pictures, though they are same, the value of the second picture is nowhere near the value of the first picture because such artistic creations or creative arts they have an inherent value. Okay, so such kind of assets are termed as non-fungible assets or items which are unique and non-replaceable.
Women's in the program.
Okay, now let's see. So does it mean that non-fungibility is related only to celebrities or to artists? No, because we own several assets which are non-fungible. For example, your home, your car, your passport, certificate, the files which you create, the current session which is ongoing, it is also a non-fungible asset. Okay, and also like domain names and so on. So if you take all these items, you know that these are either unique by itself or it is of such a nature that one cannot be replaced or it is not equal in value with another. So suppose you own a car and your friend also owns the same car, same model, same color, and you both bought the car at the same day from the same place. But when you are trying reselling, can you just claim that the price of both those cars will be exactly same? No, it will be difficult. The same is with other assets like houses and so on. Okay. So I hope the concept of non-fungibility is clear here. So these are non-fungible assets, assets which are unique and which cannot be replaced. Now, next, let's talk of token. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. Now, what exactly is a token? A token is so participants, please say your views. In case if you have any questions, do a hand raise. I'll address it. Okay, thank you. So tokens are a representation of something of value. So for example, we deal with different types of tokens in our daily life. We have gift vouchers, discount coupons, or let's say Sodexo coupons which you use. They are actually a sort of representation of either a monetary value or let's say a service. Okay, so they are tokens. Now tokenization actually means representing an asset as a digital token. So you are creating a digital twin, a digital representation for some kind of asset. Now, NFTs, they deal with converting the ownership right of an asset, of a digital asset of an asset into a digital token. So if someone is owning an NFT, that ownership is represented as a token, and this is stored on a blockchain. Now, this particular token can be transferred or traded only via the medium of that particular blockchain. Okay, now let's try to understand what a blockchain is. So I hope the concept of token and non-fungibility, the term non-fungible and token is clear. Before moving to blockchain details, I would like to introduce a term ledger. Now, what is a ledger? Now, you may be having a habit of writing down your daily transactions in, say, like in pocket diaries, or some have the habit of writing down the such transactions in Excel sheets as notes in your mobile phone, or let's say as WhatsApp chat. Okay, you might be making use of some idle chat for writing down your transactions and so on. So whatever, all these are examples of ledger. So a ledger basically means a record of transactions. Now, enterprises, they use several centralized ledger keeping mechanisms for keeping track of the data, because they will be handling huge amount of data. Or even personally, we might be also using several centralized ledgers for storing our data. For example, Google Drive, OneDrive, etc. Now, an issue that is related to such centralized ledgers is that they lack transparency. Like if you have a file which is stored in a Google Drive and you haven't shared it with anyone, that is fine. So you believe that it is private, only you can see it. But do we really know where the file is getting stored? Do we really know who all are seeing our file content? And can you really get notified when someone at the ledger side tries to alter your file content? Okay, so we have a question of data transparency when we are going for centralized ledgers. But centralized ledgers are pretty common, and they are actually used for they are used for tracking, they are used for recording several physical assets, particularly for physical assets. Say for example, like if Sheila owns a car, okay, and she's trying to sell that car, and if some person comes to buy that, how can the buyer be sure that this car belongs to this particular person? So for that, she will be producing some documents which can prove her ownership of that car. So those documents, it will be legalized and it will be attested by a certifying authority. Say, let's say a government, okay, or whatever certifying authority. So that authority is it is certifying that we guarantee you that this asset belongs to Sheila. So that is how the buyer gets convinced to buy that asset. So this is how we have the physical assets getting represented and how the physical assets are getting traded. But such kind of central ledger concept may not be good for digital assets, because here we have some distinct challenges. Let's say someone is creating a digital artwork, okay, and the digital space is open, so like anyone can kind of access it and create multiple copies and circulate it. Now, how can you verify? Like, is there any certifying authority who can give with proof that this particular digital work belongs to this person? Okay, so we don't have any such service which can actually authenticate the ownership of a specific digital asset. So this is an issue with digital assets. And if you are using centralized ledgers, like if you are storing your digital assets, can you really be sure that this is not getting copied at the back end and if this is not getting circulated? No, because we have seen some issues of privacy and all associated with such centralized ledgers also. Now, how can we track or how can we prove the ownership of such digital assets? Now, we have decentralized ledger keeping mechanism. Now, a decentralized ledger keeping mechanism is somewhere where instead of storing data at a central point and instead of assigning an authority to take care of that data, we are actually replicating the data and this data is stored at multiple network participants. Okay, so here you can see a small network of 4 network participants, but in case of actual public blockchain networks like Ethereum and Bitcoin, we have thousands or 10,000s of network participants. And these participants are called as nodes or peers. Okay, so they will be having a copy of all the interactions, all the transactions which are happening in that particular network. So that is the notion of a decentralized ledger. And we have some specific mechanisms called consensus algorithms to make sure that this ledger copy, which is available with all the members, they are actually the same, one and the same, and also like they are not trying to alter them. Okay, so special cryptographic measures are there to ensure that this ledger is intact, so it is not getting altered, and like all the members, all the nodes in that particular network have the exact same copy of the ledger. No, like that is actually related to the cryptographic primitives which are used in such decentralized distributed networks. We are not going much into that. So I just needed to give you a high level understanding of what a decentralized ledger is. Now, how can this help such digital assets? Okay, so whenever someone is creating a particular asset, so that can be recorded in the decentralized ledger. So instead of recording it at one central point, we are actually, the data is being recorded at multiple peers in the network. Now, if that data needs to be modified, what is the challenge for that attacker? That attacker should be able to change the data in all the peers in the network. Because querying something means like you can query the data from any of the peers in the network. Okay, so if someone needs to change it, then that changes should be made, should be replicated at all the nodes. So attacking all the nodes or say majority of such a huge network, it is not practical. Now, suppose if someone comes and someone is interested to buy this particular digital asset, how can that person be sure that this belongs to the person? Okay, so the blockchain acts like it is like a community where we have a network of peers and they collaboratively they are storing some data and they are certifying some data. Now, if someone needs to validate the data, they can do so by consulting that network. And it will be like a community certifying. In the case of car asset, we saw that like that central authority is certifying and the buyer actually believes in the central authority. Here it is like a community, and a community, they are collectively saying that, yes, we know that this asset was created by this person, and like we do have the proof that this was created by him. So this is how proof of ownership works in a decentralized ledger. Now, what is blockchain? So we were talking about blockchain. So we were talking about token. So token means an ownership, representing ownership of an asset in a blockchain. So we talked about decentralized ledger, and blockchain is one such decentralized distributed ledger technology. Now here, the transactions, they are secured by cryptography. And just like the ledger book, say every page in the ledger, here we address the pages as block. Okay, so a block is like a page in the ledger book, and chain is the cryptographic link between that pages, between the blocks. Okay, so altogether, they have some mechanisms to make sure that this ledger book is tamper-proof. And every node, so here we have a network of 4 nodes. So every node will be having a copy of the ledger. That means a copy of the blockchain. Now, if we consider NFT, so what is NFT? It is a non-fungible token. So you have an asset which is kind of like by nature, which is non-replaceable and which is unique. And we are trying to represent the ownership of that asset as a digital token. And this token, instead of storing it in a central entity, we are actually storing it in a network. That means it is stored at multiple places. Okay, it is replicated and stored at multiple places. Now, let me just walk you through the life cycle of an NFT. Again, this is also a high-level description of life cycle of an NFT. Now, some person creates a digital asset. Okay, so it can be anything which can be represented as a digital file. It can be a painting, it can be like audio, video, whatever. Now, after creating, now we have to represent this as a token in the blockchain. So for that, she should be verified by a community, like she should be accepted by a community. So that is done either directly by joining an NFT marketplace. So NFT marketplace is something like an online platform, just like an Amazon or Flipkart, an online platform where you can create, where you can tokenize your digital artwork. And there are some other communities also, like communities who have human moderators who are actually working towards upliftment of artists. So those with low or medium technical know-how on this technology, they are actually, such communities have several activities to help them learn more about NFTs and to help them tokenize their assets and so on. Okay, so the next step will be like you should be a part of either an NFT marketplace or let's say an open community who can help you convert your assets to a token. Now, for that, basically, if you are trying to publish your asset in a particular blockchain, like you should have an identity in the blockchain. Now, in blockchain, users are identified by their address. So, like they don't call you Alice or Bob. Rather, signing up in a blockchain network means creating your identity in that blockchain network. For that, we have something known as wallets. So, wallets are specific applications which help you create an account. So, like signing up in a wallet, signing up using a wallet is like quite simple. Like it is just like taking an email account. Okay, you just have to sign up. They will give you a random alphanumeric number, which will be your identity in that particular network. And that account address will be having a secret private key also associated with it. We have to make sure that this is kept secret. Now, once you are a part of the community or say a marketplace, there will be options to mint NFT. So minting an NFT means converting this digital asset to converting this particular asset into a token. The tokenization part is termed as minting. Now, then like we have a blockchain record, we have a record with all the peers that we have a representation of a digital asset which is owned by so and so. Okay, so that is the process of minting. Now, minting actually has an associated cost because here actually you are using the storage capacity of the peers in the network. So for that, there is a fee, okay, that you should pay. Now, like once you have a token on the blockchain, next thing is you can put it on sale. Okay, if you are like putting it a token for sale, like people can see the token and they can buy it. Now, like this is just a high level overview. Now, the order in which minting and sale is put, it is different. Okay, there are some marketplaces where you can initially put an artwork for sale. Now, they will check whether any buyers are interested in buying this particular digital asset. Then only they will go for so if someone registers their interest, then only they will go for the minting part. So that is to save the transaction cost of minting. Okay. And in some other cases, like they will be directly minted. So initially you have to put in a lot of cost and later on it will be put on sale. If someone buys it, then you will get a part of that. Okay. So that is how it works. Now we have a primary sale where someone tries to buy a freshly minted NFT. Okay. Now, whenever I say NFT, just remember it is just a representation of the ownership of a digital asset. Okay. So that will be the primary sale. Someone directly buying it from the creator. And this primary buyer, he can actually like resell it. There can be options where he can resell it. So that is something which we call as a secondary sale. Okay, secondary sale. So he can like resell it to another person. That person can again resell it and so on. So typically this is the life cycle of an NFT. Now, let me show you how to launch your NFT in a marketplace. So, there are multiple marketplaces. Now, OpenSea is currently the largest NFT marketplace. I'll just show you a short demo on how to create your NFT collection in a marketplace. Okay, like if you have any questions regarding the concepts which we have discussed so far, you may please ask. Okay, so now OpenSea.io. So if you go to OpenSea, you'll be able to see, like it is a famous NFT marketplace where you will be able to see many NFTs that are available for sale. Okay, you can see the NFTs available and the associated prices. Now, in order to if you want to showcase your NFT in such marketplaces, as I mentioned, like there is an associated fee. So there are actually test networks also. So test network means similar to the actual blockchain networks, there are some testing environments where you can, if you are in a learning phase, if you are learning smart contract programming or learning the app development or learning about tokens and so on, if you want to experiment with it, so instead of spending actual ether, there are places where you can actually learn, like you can actually get some dummy ether, some dummy cryptocurrency, and you can try it out. You can get a feel of the marketplace itself. So for that, for the current demo, I'm just using testnet, testnet.opensea.io. So this is not the like actual OpenSea where people can buy assets. So this is actually a marketplace which is connected to a test network. Okay, so test networks are like dummy networks, which actually they work based on the principles of actual blockchain network, but they'll be having some dummy data, and they won't be dealing with the actual cryptocurrency which has a monetary value. So here, like we have dummy cryptocurrency which doesn't have any monetary value associated with it. Now, okay, so here actually I'm connected with it. Let me just log out. Okay, so when you go to the marketplace OpenSea.io, there is an option to log in. Okay, so logging in means you are just certifying that I am so and so trying to connect with the blockchain network. So for that, you can make use of your wallet. Now, if you click on the wallet symbol, you can see like you can connect a number of blockchain wallets. You can connect to OpenSea using a number of blockchain wallets. Now, I have a MetaMask wallet installed in my system. So I'll be using MetaMask to log into the site. Now, if you are not familiar with blockchain wallets, this blockchain wallet is just like an application to manage your blockchain account. Now, creating it is simple. It is just like signing up an email address and also. So, if you wish to install MetaMask, just go to metamask.io, and there you have an option to download a browser plugin for MetaMask. Okay, just follow the instructions. So you will be guided on how to create an address and so on. Now you will get an address also, like the one which you see here. So this is 0x8A72. This is my identity. So 0x is not a part of the address. So that just means that this is an alphanumeric, it's a hex value. So my address is 8A72, etc., F4. Okay. So my MetaMask wallet is just connected here. Yeah. So in my MetaMask wallet, I am connected to a test network of Polygon blockchain called Polygon Mumbai. Okay. And in that test network, I have a balance of 2.1697 Matic. So this is not original Matic, like this is just test Matic. Okay, test Matic, which is for learning purposes. Now, so I'm connected to Polygon Mumbai network. So I can actually try to create an NFT collection using this. Okay, so I've just signed up, and next is so if you are launching an NFT, it is like first step is you have to create an NFT collection. So NFT collection, which is related to the type of NFTs, the type of digital assets which you are intending to create. Now, let me try to create a collection. So I already have some collections here. So let me try to create a collection. Okay, now when I click on create collection, I got a MetaMask notification. Now OpenSea is connecting with my MetaMask and the MetaMask is asking me to authorize this. Okay, so I have to sign this request, then only it will be connected with the OpenSea marketplace. Okay, now in order to create a collection, like so I can give a logo image. So let me just give an image. Okay, so this will be the a logo image for my collection. So I can give a sort of banner image also. Like I'm just selecting the same one as the banner image. Now let me give source of women. Okay, I'm just creating a simple NFT collection depicting various roles of women. And then next I can give a URL to represent it. Let me give. Next I can give a description of my NFT collection. Say okay, maybe a category. Let me give membership. So I can give my site name, my medium handle, Telegram group is Sumi, and so on. Now, next is creator earning. So whenever your some item is sold, so what part of it should go to the creator? So that is what is meant by creator earning. Then you can add an address here. So I'm just adding my MetaMask wallet address itself here. And I can specify how much percentage should go to the creator. Again, these options, they differ from one marketplace to another marketplace. I'm just explaining how it works for uh, OpenSea. Okay, they not be the same in every marketplace, like the steps and everything will be different, but they will be having detailed tutorials and documentations on how to use the marketplace. Now, the blockchain. So I am selecting Mumbai Test Network for launching my my NFT collection. Okay, let me create my collection. Okay, so now my NFT collection is created. So NFT collection basically means a category. Okay, a category of work which you are doing. So if you have a specific amount of works listed under a specific category, so that category can be termed as a collection, NFT collection. Okay, now like I don't have any items under that collection. I've just created a category. Now I need to add NFTs under my collection. So for that, let me go to my profile, create. So create a new item. Okay, so like I'm just selecting some pictures. Okay, so like these are simply created with the help of Canva and some already available icons. Now I'm just naming lady one. Okay, so just imagine this to be a character that was created by an artist. Okay, so here I'm just trying to mimic that. Now you can, if this has a description somewhere else, okay, if this has a specific importance, if you have any description to give, that all can be given, like your personal website, that item description details and so on. So it's just a lady. Okay, a lady. Now, so which collection? So which collection? So currently I have multiple collections. So I have to specify under which collection should I list this NFT. So this belongs to roles of women. And next is I can list some properties. Okay. So if you have, say, let's take the case of some games. So there you are actually playing as certain characters. So these characters will be having certain accessories. Now the characters differ according to the accessories which they have. So there will be some accessories that can be purchased from others and so on. So the properties refer to such accessories. Say, let's say one with an axe, so another one with a gun, a gun with this much number of bullets, and so on. So, like, there can be some character representation, or let's say a character with spectacles, a character with a hat, and so on. So, properties are actually such unique properties which define your NFT. So, you can give it. Let me say. So, my character. Let me say it's of unique. And let me say smooth. It's smiling. Okay, I'm just randomly giving some properties. Yeah, and which is the required blockchain. And I can click on create. Okay, so I just created lady. Now let me get the link and share it in the chat. Okay, so if you go to that link, you will be able to see the collection which I just created. Okay, now, so I have just created, so I created a collection and I created an item under that collection. Now, I can decide whether I should like allow this, I should put this item for sale. Now, there is an option sell. So if I click on sell, I can list this item for sale. Now, I can like I can either put a fixed price or I can go for an auction. So auction will be like we have to specify a time limit. So I can put a base price. People can bid on this, and later on, like at the end of the auction period, it will be transferred to the eligible bidder. Okay. Now let me go for fixed price. Now let me set a price. Let me say 0.1 matic. So 0.1 matic. Okay. So this is the service fee that is taken by OpenSea Marketplace. Okay. So in order to host it, like they will be taking a certain amount as a commission, and 1% of the like that amount, it will be transferred to the creator earning. So I added one creator, which is my account itself. Like there are some collaborative efforts where there will be multiple creators. Now, like multiple accounts can be added there also, where they each of them will be getting a part of the sale. So let me click on complete listing. So I'll have a MetaMask notification. Yeah, signature request. Okay, now MetaMask is asking me, do you really want to sign in? So that it means that you are offering this particular asset that was created by you for sale. Do you really want to proceed? That is what MetaMask is asking. So I can sign it. That means I am authorizing this transaction. Now, yeah. So once that is completed, you can see that this is listed for sale. Let me click that listing. Let me share it in the chat. Okay, now how can someone buy this? So I'm just opening another account. So I'm just opening another wallet of mine. So from another browser, I'm signing into MetaMask. Unlock. Okay, so suppose. Okay, so this is how the audience can see this. Okay, so this actually gives the artist a way to showcase their products to a wider audience, because like instead of spending money on individual advertisements and so on, they are actually pushing it into a marketplace which is accessed by millions of users around the world. Now, if someone, like this is how they can see it, someone wishes to buy this particular NFT, they can do so by using their wallet. Now here, see, it is listed that the current price of this particular NFT is 0.1 magic. So if I wish to buy, so this is from another account of mine. from another wallet. Okay. Let me add it to cart. So this is added to cart, and I can even, okay. So the cost is listed here. I can complete my purchase. So let me buy this NFT. I'll be again getting MetaMask notification. So every time you are trying to buy an item, that is every time the ownership of an item changes, then you will get a wallet notification. That is this information, the change in ownership, that will be it will be broadcasted to all the peers in the network, and all of them will be recording that. So for that also I have to pay a specific amount of fee. Okay, so let me confirm that. So like blockchain transactions will take some time to get confirmed. Now, because transaction in the blockchain network basically means you are sending it to all the peers in the network, and like they have to approve it and they have to add it to their ledger. Okay, so the time taken for this transaction, it will differ from one to another. Typically in Ethereum, in blockchains like Ethereum, it is around 12 seconds. Now, there are networks where it is shorter and there are networks where it is longer. Okay, now I can see that my purchase is complete. Now let me view it, try to view it on Polygon scan. So this is a receipt for, I can say this is a receipt for my transaction. Okay, now we have Polygon is a network which has thousands of nodes, and each node is having a copy of a ledger. And whenever I'm making a transaction, this transaction will be recorded by all the people, like all the peers in the network. And these transaction networks are, this is sort of a public ledger. That means anyone can view the transactions that are recorded in that ledger. Now, here Polygon Scan is a link where you can see the transaction details that are occurring in a Polygon network. So there are multiple explorers which display such data. So here, this is the receipt of my transaction. So just think of a receipt which you get after buying an item. Okay, this is my receipt number, the transaction hash. Now, this is the block number which has included my transaction. You can see who initiated it and so on. Now, here you can see tokens transferred ERC1155. Okay, ERC1155 is a token standard. So, ERC means Ethereum request for comments. So, like there are certain standards based on which you can create tokens and so on. So, this is one such standard. So, those details are written here. Now, you can see like a specific amount of matic got transferred to this address. This 0.001 matic. Okay, so that was transferred to this account. So one person went to create it, like that's picked up and everything is visible. And this is a public, public platform. So anyone can inspect it and anyone can see it. Now later, if I want to sell this NFT again that will be a transaction. So in short, simply by inspecting a transaction, you can see the entire history. Okay, you can see the entire history of a digital asset. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Any questions? Any questions on the tax? Yes, Yellow. Yes, there is a hand raised.
Yeah, great session. Really enjoyed. Now the question is, since it involves cryptocurrencies and other things, and there is no legal way that we can do it in India as of now. So what is your view on that? Can we continue with the cryptos and do this in a legal manner?
Like I'll be discussing the legal aspects of this also, because like NFTs are not particularly banned in India. Okay, as you said, there is some regulation on the use of cryptocurrency. That is NFTs, they are actually treated as virtual digital assets. Now, just like if you purchase cryptocurrency if you purchase cryptocurrency from an exchange, and if you invest it somewhere else, and if you're getting returns, you have to pay a 30% tax in India. The same thing applies to NFT. So it is not banned in India, but as you said, like that awareness and widespread adoption, like this is something which we can expect in near future. That's what I think.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, as I just depicted, so this helps you, like this helps the artists, the creators, to reach a wider audience in an easier manner. So just think of the usual way. Look, like let us think about NFTs in the blockchain concept. Yes, Neetu.
My question is how to like mint an NFT.
Okay. So when this the receipt which I just show you, okay, it's related to the minting process. Now, minting an NFT, it is typically, that is something which we just did. Okay. Minting an NFT means after you just create a digital asset, it should have an NFT representation. That process is called minting. Now, in OpenSea, here how the process goes is like you have to put your NFT for sale, which is all free, almost free right now. And if someone is ready to buy it, so in this case, I just bought it from my second wallet. Okay. Now, if that person is ready to buy it, then it will be minted. That means then only we are converting it to the like the token format. Okay. And there also we are certifying who is the creator, like who just minted and who all got the a part of that thing. Okay. The process which we just did is called minting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now how can it help artists? So suppose if you have some work which needs to be published. So though I'm depicting artists, it doesn't mean that this applies only to artists. Actually, like this applies to anyone who wishes to, like I just show you how a tweet was changed into an asset. Okay, so this is not meant for artists alone, like it is meant for others as well. Now, like you can put your artwork for sale for a specific amount of cryptocurrency. Say, let's say for 0.5 XYZ. Now, like this will be, if you are relying on a marketplace, depending on the reach of that particular marketplace, this will be available to a wider audience. Okay, and like there will be some people who are interested to buy it. So whenever someone buys it, so all these are being recorded in the blockchain. Now here, Julie's artwork was bought by Emily for 0.5 XYZ. So that much amount of cryptocurrency. Now, how can you confirm this sale? It is when this is recorded in the blockchain. That means the community or that entire network of peers, they are certifying that this specific artwork was actually created by Emily and it was created by Julie and Emily bought it for 0.5 XYZ. Now, we have a public ledger which is pretty transparent. Now later, like this buyer may be interested to resell it. Okay, like again, she can go for fixed price or she may be going for an auction. And there will be many buyers who are interested to buy it. Like whatever they are bidding, everything, it can be recorded on a public ledger. It can be publicized. So this public ledger, it serves as an open auditable medium where the public can verify the authenticity of a particular work, like how people are reacting to it and so on. Now, the logic for dealing with these auctions, the logic for buying it, selling it, and everything, they are also coded as smart contracts. Okay, so smart contract means programs which are deployed on the blockchain and which execute on the blockchain. So just like any other transactions which are written in the ledger, this code also becomes immutable. That means once you have a logic and once it is running on the blockchain, you cannot change it. Okay, so this is also done in a transparent way. Now, we also have some royalty standards where it can be programmed in some way that even if that particular piece is sold multiple times, the original creator gets a part of the earning. Okay, like again, even though we say NFT, it is not just one thing. Like for implementing NFT, there are multiple ways, or in blockchain terminology, we can say there are multiple standards. And depending on that, and depending on the individual policies of the marketplaces, these terms and conditions, everything may differ. Now, as a beginner, like if you are interested, then how can you start? The first thing is you have to analyze the skill and you have to particularly identify the unique, non-replaceable assets which you can generate. Okay, so if you have a specific skill, like it can be artistic skill, or it can be music, or it can be any other. Okay, now next is here we have a community-driven approach. So the next thing is to find the right community. Now there are many public blockchains and there are many blockchains which are supporting NFTs and many communities also. So you should find the right community, like a community who have interest similar to yours and like who have a wide audience who are interested in such specific digital assets. So based on that, you should decide a marketplace or decide a community. And the NFT trend is actually, it is dynamic, very much dynamic, because as one of our participants pointed out, it is based on cryptocurrency. Basically, it is based on cryptocurrency, because here we assume only the blockchain ecosystem, which is driven by cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency is volatile. So this volatility can actually, it actually spreads to the NFT trends also. Like at one point, it might be too costly, but at the other point, the prices might fall at an exponential level. So that you should be ready to experiment. Like that is like, you cannot say that something is trending and some collection or some kind of NFTs are trending, so that trend may continue tomorrow also. So there is not much consistency in that trend. So be ready to experiment and be active in the communities and stay updated, because here changes happen pretty quick, because updations, like though this was blockchain technology was introduced some 10 years back, still there is many ongoing research and so on. So still updations are happening. Make sure you are up to date with it and you are active in the community. Now, when we speak of the future of NFTs, actually, NFTs are not meant for such creative work alone. It has some other uses also. Like we have NFTs, like we can have use cases where NFTs can represent our physical assets. Like it can be used in real estate dealings, or it can represent something like certificates and so on. Now, the transparency and the proof of ownership features which are provided by NFT, it can be applied to other physical assets also. Like in the CED self-paced course, actually, we are building a marketplace, a land marketplace, where land property is represented as an NFT, and like how can you represent it as an NFT and how can you sell it as an NFT. So that is something which we have experimented on. Okay, now rather than a mere property of celebrities or artists, actually NFT has some wider dimensions also. Now, legal aspect, actually, I already discussed. So here, like government of India has not banned NFT. NFT is legal, but it is treated as a virtual digital asset, just like a cryptocurrency and so on. And there is a specific tax rate on the income which you earn from NFT. And one thing to note is that purchasing an NFT, it does not transfer the copyright. That means if Julie has created an artwork and if Emily has bought it, so Emily does not have the right to print and circulate that artwork just because she has bought that NFT. So if such a right is included with the purchase of that NFT, then it should be explicitly specified by the original artist. That should also be written in the terms and conditions. Then only it will be acknowledged. Okay. So copyright of an artwork and ownership of an item of that artwork, those are actually different. This is something which you should keep in mind, because purchasing is not copyright transfer. Now, some of the NFTs based in India. Now you can see like Amitabh Bachchan has released several NFT collections. So somewhere his personal autograph, somewhere actually items like this where characters depicting him were there. And Sunny Leon also has an NFT collection released depicting characters similar to her. And in Kerala, it was Rima Kalingal who started off with her first NFT collection. So this is actually based on, it is inspired by the Neelakurinni, which is a flower which is typical to Kerala. Now, NFT communities, there are many. Now, the largest NFT marketplace, it is by OpenSea. Now, we do have some others like Foundation, Wearable, etc. And regarding NFT communities, there is a community called Naksh, which is also based in India. They are actually associated with the Near blockchain, and we have NFT Malayali community also. Guardian Link is an NFT marketplace. I think Amitabh, it was hosted by Guardian Link. So these are the NFT communities which we have. Okay, so being active in the community is very important if you want to enter the NFT area. So, like participants, if you don't have any questions, kindly mute. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so that's all for today's session. So this was meant to give you a quick introduction, a quick awareness on what NFT really is and how it can help you. Now, like if you want to know more on blockchain, so please check out our courses which are available in kba.ai. And also please check out our YouTube channel, Kerala Blockchain Academy, and our Medium channel for more learning resources. Now, as already mentioned, we are giving special offer on Women's Day. So you will be able to access our self-paced courses at a discounted rate. So please make use of this opportunity. Thank you.